Hi, this is Jack Stanley, and this is 2.5 Minutes of History. We are coming up to the 40th anniversary to the Challenger disaster. It was 1986, and my God, how time has passed. You know, there's a great deal about that whole disaster that I recall, and I'd like to share with you. I was working mainly as an entertainer at that point, but I was working part-time at a facility called Bellcore, which was a research and development corporation made of all the baby bells after the breakup of AT&T. And I worked in their music division, which was really a fascinating place to be. And I'll do some talks about that later. But I recall that there we had in the 1980s a very rudimentary form of an internet where we could send text messages to each other, and also we can get news. And the interesting thing is there was a news site on this system that we could read. There was no pictures or anything like that. And on the day of the Challenger's flight, we were reading a great deal and talking amongst ourselves because of what we were reading in the news. And what the news was saying, there were countless individuals talking about how the O-rings could prove problematic because of the cold weather, and they would shrink a little bit and freeze. And then NASA would repeat there was no problem, and back and forth this was going on, and we were discussing it back and forth too. Well, I got busy and didn't have time to pay any attention, and there was a fellow that worked there who had a strange feature on his face. He always had a smile. Even when he wasn't smiling, he was somewhat smiling. And I remember he walked in smiling and looked at me and said, "The Challenger blew up." And I wasn't sure if he was joking or was serious at the time because he was smiling. But nonetheless, I got on to our rudimentary internet, and there it was. And what was it? It was those O-rings that had given out, but we didn't know all that yet. But that would be the problem. The cold weather had a profound effect upon it, and those people that gave warning weren't listened to. And NASA went ahead and did it in spite of their warnings, in which they should have done some research. And that's about 2.5 minutes of history.